Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Ringo TV Reactions. I'm your host, Ringo. What I want to talk about in this particular topic is Make America Great Again and the backlash Black people get if they support Trump. What I want to talk about is a commentary video by a YouTuber and what he had to say about Blacks who wear a MAGA hat. Let's get into the tape and find out exactly what's going on so that we can be educated and learn what's happening in these streets. Let's go.
Tommy Sotomayor was MAGA. He was running around wearing MAGA hats. Cameron JC was running around wearing MAGA hats as well. Now, I think it's stupid for any Black person to wear a MAGA hat. I don't care if you're a foundational Black American, if you're Caribbean or African. When I see Black people wearing MAGA hats, I'm like, man, what's wrong with you, man? You know what the white people think? You listen, do you know what the white people mean when they say make America great again? America was great to white people when Black folks were America was great to white folks when Blacks were living under Jim Crow laws, when Black people were still in captivity, meaning slavery. That is white folks' idea of America being great. Excuse me. Because when Black folks were under Jim Crow laws and slavery, the white man had a lot of power in this country. The white man don't feel like he has all that power anymore. The white man feels compromised. Black people got civil rights. They can complain. They have rights. Listen, homie, when the white man ruled this country with an iron fist, Black folks didn't have rights. So that's what white people mean when they say make America great again. That's when the white man had the most that's when the white man had the most power in this country.
I think that this individual is uneducated and completely wrong. And I think this is the problem with society, is that we don't really have the proper education. You see, influencers like that man, his job is to brainwash Black Americans into thinking that when they see a MAGA hat or they see Trump, that for some reason it's to promote racism or some sort of division. And the first thing he do is weaponize the past history and things that were probably done to Black Americans to further make us be divided. Now, the first thing we have to understand is history. Ronald Reagan was the first to actually use that term of, make America great again. And this is where Trump pretty much continued to promote that statement. So now, in 1980, Ronald Reagan presidential campaign, quote, "Let's make America great again," was famously used in Ronald Reagan's 1980 presidential campaign. At the time, the United States was suffering from a worsening economy at home, marked by stagflation, using the country's economic distress as a springboard for his campaign. Reagan used the slogan to stir a sense of patriotism among the electorate. During his acceptance speech at the 1980 Republican National Convention, Reagan said, "For those without job opportunities, will stimulate new opportunities, particularly in the inner cities where they live. For those who've abandoned hope, will restore hope and will welcome them into a great national crusade to make America great again." Now, when you think about that particular situation right there and what was stated by Reagan, it was very clear that he was speaking of patriotism. He was speaking of bringing Americans together. And in his speech, he made it very clear that those without job opportunities, which pretty much can include anybody, but for most part, if we want to keep this relevant to today's situation in regards to Blacks that are, I guess, against Trump or against MAGA because they think it has something to do with racism, right? Reagan pretty much said will stimulate new opportunities, particularly in the inner cities. So when you think of inner cities, right, you would think predominantly black communities, but that could be any community. You know what I mean? But for context purposes, let's just focus on the black community. Let's just consider that Reagan was talking directly to the black community, particularly in the inner city where they live. They. So he's talking about a particular group of people. For those who've abandoned hope, meaning a lot of black Americans have abandoned hope because they believe that everything in the United States is all racism and everybody's against them. This has been branded in black Americans all throughout their lives. So Reagan pretty much wanted to change that narrative. In other words, those who abandon hope, I guess in the system, he says, will restore hope and will welcome them into a great national crusade to make America great again. Now, that being said, let's move forward to today. When we look at today's Make America Great Again, right? It goes on and it says, Make America Great Again, MAGA, is an American political slogan most recently popularized by Donald Trump during his presidential campaigns in 2016, 2020, and 2024. MAGA is also used to refer to Trump's ideology, political base, or to an individual or group of individuals from within that base. The slogan became a pop culture phenomenon, seeing widespread use and spawning numerous variants in the arts, entertainment, and politics, being used by both supporters and opponents of Trump's presidency, and as the name of the super PAC Make America Great Again. Originally used by Ronald Reagan as a campaign slogan in his 1980 presidential campaign, Let's Make America Great Again. It was adopted by Trump in 2015. It has been described as a slogan representing American exceptionalism, and promoting an idealized or romanticized American past. While some scholars, now notice what it says, guys, while some scholars, journalists, and commentators have called the slogan a loaded phrase representing racism, regarding it as dog whistle politics and coded language that excludes certain groups, others regard the slogan as patriotic and positive. Now, this is where we have to disconnect. This is where this particular individual have fallen short of the glory. He's a part of that collective of groups that believe that the term Make America Great Again is a loaded phrase representing racism, regarded it as dog whistle politics and coded language that excludes certain groups of people. So this is why when you hear this individual say these things, it is very clear that in his mind, he believed that black Americans are excluded from Let's Make America Great Again. Now, before we continue, I want to go back into what this person had to say in regards to people that wear a MAGA hat. Let's go back into the tapes.
Sotomayor was MAGA. He was running around wearing MAGA hats. Cameron JC was running around wearing MAGA hats as well. Now, I think it's stupid for any black person to wear.
He said it's stupid for any black person to wear a MAGA hat. That's his opinion, because his opinion, again, is not based off of facts. His opinion is based off of what most scholars, journalists, and commentators, he's a commentator, have called the slogan. So when people watch YouTube videos and they listen to scholars, journalists, and commentators, these particular individuals, they have also a bottom line agenda. And that agenda is obviously to make money and continue to brainwash individuals to think like them. So while some scholars, journalists, and commentators have called the slogan a loaded phrase representing racism, regarding it as a dog whistle politics and coded language that excludes certain groups, others regard the slogan as patriotic and positive. And pretty much that is how I see the term Make America Great Again. I see it as a patriotic slogan, as a positive thing for all Americans, because me personally, I don't have any sort of ill will or any racist type heart that can actually go out here and influence other blacks to be hateful just because I'm upset about things, and I just don't do those type of things, guys. Those type of thoughts are not in my mind, but people do feel this way because they see "Make America Great Again," and then they go into, well, when was America ever great? And then they start looking at the past history of Americans, slavery, this, that, and all these other different things. And they are the ones who concluded this. Because think about this. When you hear the term "Make America Great Again," Asians do not complain, right? White people don't complain. Russians don't complain. Africans don't complain. Nobody else complains but American black people. That's a problem because they see themselves as less than human. They see themselves as the minority. They don't see themselves as a group of people who are kings and queens. They always keep appearing as if though they are at the bottom of the totem pole. So now let's get back to what the man had to say, and let's hear more.
A MAGA hat. I don't care if you're a foundational Black American, if you're Caribbean or African. When I see Black people wearing MAGA hats, I'm like, man, what's wrong with you, man?
So when he see a black person wearing a MAGA hat, he looks down on them. He don't see them as a brother. He don't see them as a sister. And see, that's racism. That basically is the underlying issue, is that in his mind, he believed that if you are black and you're wearing a MAGA hat, you are a traitor. But what he's not talking about is his own racism towards black Americans who wear and support Trump, who wear a MAGA hat, who are patriotic. This man is not patriotic. This man do not love America. This man don't care about people in America. His job is to mobilize blacks in order to make them hate white people. Let's go.
You know what the white people think? You listen.
Notice, he's going to tell you what white people think. Imagine this, guys. He's a black man, but he's not speaking the truth. He's giving you his opinion about what white people think. How come he's not giving you his opinion on what Asian people think, or what African people think, or what Russian people think, or what Jewish people think? His opinion is based upon what white people think. He wants black people to feel that his words is solid and valuable. Let's go.
Do you know what the white people mean when they say "Make America Great Again"? America was great to white people when black folks were America was great to white folks when blacks were living under Jim Crow laws, when black people were still in captivity, meaning slavery.
Now think about that, guys. This is one of the biggest problems in the black community, is that black Americans continually think like slaves. They continually listen to content creators that continually brainwash them into thinking like slaves. That's one of our biggest problems, guys. We have to evolve. We're still living in the past, and we have not yet evolved. Let's get back to the tape.
That is white folks' idea of America being great.
That's his opinion, guys.
Excuse me. Because when black folks were under Jim Crow laws and slavery, the white man had a lot of power in this country.
Now, he believed that when blacks were under X, Y, and Z, that whites had all of this power. But if you ask or even look at black Americans in today's day, they still don't believe that blacks have any power in America. So what exactly is this man saying? You know, what exactly is he going? He continually make black people don't like white people. This is what keeps us divided.
The white man don't feel like he has all that power anymore. The white man feels compromised.
How could he speak for all white people? This is what's so problematic about content and content like this and the rhetoric that they spew on social media.
Black people got civil rights. They can complain. They have rights.
What rights? You don't even know what rights.
Oh, listen, homie, when a white man ruled this country with an iron fist, black folks didn't have rights. So that's what white people mean when they say "Make America Great Again."
That's not what they mean. That's what he believed. Because again, guys, when we go back to the information in terms of the slogan, "Make America Great Again," it says, while some scholars, journalists, and commentators have called the slogan a loaded phrase representing racism. This is what they call it. That's not what it is, because when we go back to when Reagan used the slogan, he was speaking it as a so-called patriotic American slogan. And also he included all people, even those in the inner cities where they lived. those who felt abandoned, those who felt their voices wasn't heard. And primarily, if you want to get technical, he was most likely talking to the Black and Hispanic communities. Do you understand? Why? To restore hope. And what he said, will welcome them into a great national crusade to make America great again. That's not a racist statement, guys. That includes all Americans. All Americans. And that's something that a lot of us has forgotten. So now, let's get back to the content, guys, and break this thing down even further. Let's go.
That's when a white man had the most that's when a white man had the most power in this country.
So in his mind, he believed white people or the white man had power when black people were on the bottom and in slavery. So anytime he hear the term make America great again, he see it as a racist statement. And this is why most blacks that wear a MAGA hat are attacked by black Americans and hated by black Americans. So the truth of the matter is, are blacks really exercising love towards one another, or are they doing the very thing that they claim they're against? Let's look at some more information, guys, so we get more context. So right here, what I'm trying to find out is it pretty much safe for black Americans to wear a MAGA hat? Let's see what it says. It says, yes, black people can and do wear MAGA hats, as wearing one is considered a form of protected speech under the First Amendment. It goes on and it says, political expression. Some black individuals wear the MAGA, wear the hats as a display of support for Donald Trump's policies, conservative values, or as a sign of ideological alignment with the Make America Great Again movement. Visibility. Reports have highlighted groups of black individuals, particularly women in urban areas like Chicago, wearing the hat to show support for the former president and to call for increased security in their communities. Controversy. Despite some supporters, the MAGA hat is considered by many, included critics and some civil rights groups. Now notice, civil rights groups. Those are the particular groups that are on the far left who focus primarily on always making everything a racial issue. You understand? So they're giving their opinion. That doesn't mean that's what it means. The problem is the black community normally follows the controversy. So, controversy. Despite supporters, the MAGA hat is considered by many, including critics and some civil rights groups, to be a symbol of racial provocation or a political statement that aligns with policies they believe are harmful to black communities. Do you see that, guys? So that's not what MAGA mean. That's the opinions of those in civil rights groups. Those are the ones that keep the black community at the bottom, to keep our minds focusing on injustice and racial situations that's going on in the world. It's them who keep pushing this on black Americans. So now it goes on and it says reactions. Those wearing the MAGA hat, the hat, including black individuals, may face varied reactions ranging from support to, in some cases, social friction, dependent on the context and location. And this is something that I myself have experienced from the black community. I also support Trump, and I have and wear a MAGA hat. Even in my videos, I've done that. And I've been attacked by black Americans. I've been attacked, ridiculed, disowned. They call me a coon, a sellout, a turncoat, you name it. These are the type of hateful things that I've been called as a black American man. And it is very, very sick. It is disgusting, and it contradicts everything that they believe. If they believe that the MAGA hat is a phrase of racism or something that is against black people or something that goes against our growth as a community, but yet they belittle me as a black man, it contradicts their entire purpose. And that is what I want all of you guys to see, guys. So it goes on and it says, in summary, while the decision is polarizing and often criticized by those who view the hat as a symbol of racism, there is no legal barrier preventing black people from wearing a MAGA hat. And some choose to do so as a personal expression of their political beliefs. And that is all it is, guys. Me as a Trump supporter, me as a conservative, Me as a man who is a family man, a husband, and a father, I believe in making America great again. And for some reason, most black people that criticize me, they don't believe in making America great again. And this is why we have so many problems in the black community, because we refuse to take accountability in improving our way of life. In the black community, there is nothing but racism and violence towards one another, which is internalized racism. And these are the type of topics and subjects that most black Americans never talk about. Most of these so-called civil rights leaders never talk about black on black crime. They never talk about civil unrest in the black community, where we literally attack and kill one another, sell drugs, have gangs, and do all of these evil things. Fathers are not in the home. Babies are being born out of wedlock. There is nothing but destruction in the black community. And nobody talks about these problems. Instead, they make everything a racial issue when it comes to white and black. I believe in making America great again, and I want to know your thoughts. So that's my take, ladies and gentlemen, on this particular topic. Leave your comments, your feedback, and let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel, hype the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. I'm out, guys. Peace.